being ferried to people's homes using helicopters. Kenyans imagine this is fiction. It is not fiction. No wonder, Honorable Speaker, you saw the desperation that was there to interfere with the elections and the election results, Honorable Speaker. And maybe, Honorable Speaker, is also the other reason why now you see a belated attempt, and very belated, to try and intimidate government to bring back some of those subsidies that were utilized to loot from the Kenyan people. Because these people, Mr. Speaker, never get satisfied. They were fed by the fuel subsidy, they were fed by Telkom Kenya, they were fed through the maize subsidy, and Honorable Speaker, we must forgive them because you may never satisfy everybody's greed. But we as a House must stand and allow all our committees to work in line because, and the Honorable John Badi is a seasoned legislator, he knows our standing orders have the boundaries of where the Public Petitions Committee will get to and where the Public Accounts Committee will pick up from and where the departmental committees, the matters that the departmental committees can inquire into. Therefore, Honorable Speaker, I really want to beg, even as you consider the issue that has been raised by John Badi, we be cautious not to be seen to be curtailing the relay and disclosure of critical information to the public, because it is important that Kenyans get to know how their country was looted, so that we stop future regimes from stealing from the people of Kenya. And I said yesterday, Honorable Speaker, I was contributing on the issue of extrajudicial killings. If we form a habit of burying our heads under the sand and burying our history, that we say, let us now forget what was done yesterday and move on, Honorable Speaker, we get into this cycle of people stealing and impunity being entrenched in our governance structures, Honorable Speaker. Well, and I am sure the Honorable John Badi doesn't want and doesn't intend us to take that direction. And I have confidence that when the Auditor General finishes his special audit, John Badi will also table a report here to tell us how that money was looted, and including an audit trail. Because, Honorable Speaker, when I said here that 6.1 billion ended up in people's personal accounts, ended up in accounts in the Cayman Islands, Honorable Speaker, I knew what I was speaking about, and I did assure the House and the country, when the time comes, we shall divulge all this information, and we expect all investigative agencies from EACC to ensure that they get to the rock bottom of this matter and hold people to account. And equally, we expect that none of us as political leaders will now start crying foul that, oh, this and that person is being targeted, oh, we should not be held here, we can only appear at DCI or EACC for 1 hour because we are busy. You cannot be busy now, and you're also busy looting from us only 6 months ago, Honorable Speaker. With that, Honorable Speaker, I beg to submit that we do allow the Public Petitions Committee to carry on with their work in line with our standing orders, allow the Public Accounts Committee, when the time comes to deal with the issues as they should, and the Finance Committee. Should any of these committees befall the tragedy that the Honorable John Badi is saying, all these members of Parliament, the 349 of us, Honorable Speaker, are very intelligent people. We shall be able to decipher and be able to know which committee has been diligent, which committee has unraveled the truth, and which one has sought to cover up the truth, if that ever comes to be, Honorable Speaker. Therefore, I would beg that we really allow all these committees to carry on their work in line with our standing orders, Honorable Speaker. Thank you.
Yes, Honorable Badi.
Mr. Speaker, let it go on record that I didn't raise this matter to cover up anything, Mr. Speaker.
That's how I understood you.
Yeah, I want to be very clear. I am not in the business of covering up for anyone because I'm not privy to any information. Probably the leader of majority does. I also want to clarify that regarding expenditure under Article 223 of the Constitution, as I promised here, we have already asked the Office of the Auditor General to do a special audit for all those expenditures that have been incurred in the this year, that is, this financial year that is ending. I also know that the Auditor General is overwhelmed, but we have asked her specifically to audit that. Finally, Mr. Speaker, I hope when I sought this clarification, it was understood that I'm just wondering, when it comes to public expenditure, Mr. Speaker, to avoid politicizing it, you need to have independent audit. That is what I thought. That once we have independent audit by the Office of the Auditor General, otherwise we may end up just playing to the gallery, playing politics, having some public officers. By the way, any public officer who appears before Parliament will always try to exonerate himself or herself. To be sure that the officers who are appearing before us are telling us the truth, we need proper audit of these funds. Once you have the audit report, now the officers concerned will now address themselves to the audit report. But at the moment, Mr. Speaker, it is all about rumors, in my view, that may be addressed before committee. That was my concern. That are we dealing with a case where an independent...
I want comments on the petition on Awendo land. Kiarie? The matter between Badi and the majority leader is rested there. I'll deal with it.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. And concerning the matter of the Awendo land, to my mind, the Petitions Committee, as has been formed in this 13th Parliament, is up to task and very current on the matters that are happening in the country, Mr. Speaker. And whatever recommendation that would come out of the Petitions Committee is not bound by whatever other recommendation that would come out of any other office in the land, Mr. Speaker. But for me, the biggest concern, Mr. Speaker, by the submissions that have been made, was the questioning of the mandate of the Committee of CII, Communications, Information and Innovation, on the matter of telecom, Mr. Speaker. And Mr. Speaker, I'd like to bring it to the attention of the House that I, as the chairman of the Communications Committee, have written to you, asking officially...
Honorable Kiarie.
Yes.
You are definitely not commenting on the Awendo petition. The matter you are talking to...
Yes.
...is a matter we prosecuted yesterday, or Raso Dido.